According to the Center for Disease Control, here are 3 reasons to work out with a friend. Feel more motivated, be more adventurous, and be more consistent. I discovered this advice recently as I've become aware of the toll that the past year of quarantine and relatively sedentary pandemic life has taken on my health. After an annual physical last week and with my birthday coming up in a few days, I guess you could say I'm inspired to get started on a new plan to recover a healthier lifestyle. To that end, I've been doing some research. One thing I've always known about myself, or at least for a long time, is that I do better if someone is in it with me, doing the healthier eating, taking the walks, or going to the gym, or hiking, or swimming, or even praying. Whatever needs doing for the health and well-being of my whole person, spirit, mind, and body. Not doing it alone, but with others, with friends. So this advice from the CDC jumped right out at me because working out with a friend is exactly what I'm interested in doing. And it does accomplish, for me, these 3 things. Keeps me motivated. If I'm not feeling it, I'll show up for someone else counting on me. It opens me to more adventure and trying new things, like my first time in a bouldering gym at the invitation of a friend back a couple of months ago. It helps to motivate me for consistency in my habits. An extra reason to keep going when I'm tired or distracted or otherwise just not feeling it. So I'm thinking about the power of friendship, of companionship, when I encounter that word, friend, in today's gospel. Today, we are back to the same place and the same message that Jesus gave his disciples on that night before he was betrayed. He gives them the new commandment. One more time for the people in back. Love one another. The heart of Jesus' life and ministry on earth was the love of God for the whole world. And the heart of his followers' life and work in our own day and time is the same. This is my commandment. Love each other just as I have loved you. But now Jesus goes further than a command. He says this is not the demand of a master to a servant. It is a mandate, but not one of external force demanding blind, robotic compliance. No, Jesus is commissioning friends. Friends who have learned the will and the ways of one who loves them and whom they are coming more and more to love in return. The mandate to love is a mission to go and be what followers of Jesus are already becoming in the world, truly loved and loving beings. Humans becoming more what being human is supposed to be. The late author Dallas Willard, one who's had a great influence on my life over many decades, had a preference for the word apprentice to encapsulate a summation of our words like disciple, follower, servant, and friend, to convey how our relationship with Jesus over the course of a life of apprenticeship to him forms us to be Jesus-like in the world. He wrote this about how we come to follow Jesus' command to love as his friends. He says, Jesus does not call us to do what he did, but to be as he was, permeated with love. Then the doing of what he did and said becomes a natural expression of who we are in him. As our friend, Jesus is asking us to know and be and do what is good for the whole world, but also what is good for you and me to know and be and do. He says, I've said these things to you so that my joy will be in you and your joy will be complete. So that your joy will be complete. Jesus says that to follow this command to love one another as he loved us will lead to our own flourishing. That our joy, your joy, and my joy will somehow bring us to fulfillment. That we will know in the sharing of Christ's selfless, self-giving, self-sacrificing love for others an ultimate satisfaction and actualization and contentment for ourselves. We must know that the fulfillment of this kind of mandate, the mandate of a friend to friends, has a power that obedience out of obligation or duty could never conjure, because we've all done things out of obligation and duty. Sandra Schneider's, in her wonderful book on the Gospel of John, writes about the unique power of love and service when it's motivated by friendship. She says this, in perfect friendship, which is indeed very rare, the good of each is truly the other's good. And so in seeking the good of a friend, one's own good is achieved. But this self-fulfillment involves no subversive seeking of self. It's simply the byproduct of the friend's happiness. Jesus speaks to you and me as friends and calls us to carry the joy of this friendship with us throughout our lives. The grocery, family get-togethers, at work, when we're driving, when we're working in the yard, when we're fixing a hole in the wall, when we're talking to our neighbors about getting their dogs to stop peeing on our sidewalk. All the little things and all the little bits that come together to make our lives a whole life. Jesus is calling us, inviting us to carry our friendship with him into our friendship with all those we encounter along the way. We're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to hoard the goodness of God's love only for ourselves and a chosen few around us. So the CDC might be onto something this time. Beyond the 3 reasons to work out with a friend, maybe all of life is meant to be lived in the company of friends. I wonder about the motivation, the adventure, and the consistent growth in this love that is available to us along the way. Jesus affirms for us today that we are his friends and sends us out from this place to know and be and do his good will in the world. May we say yes. May we say yes to this friendship and to being friends, this call, this love. Amen.